what mistakenly months on my mother's feet. The griefs I've been holding on to for decades, years, months, weeks, and days. I squeeze my lips and roll back my tongue. She bends low and picks up the tattered memories I've kept for the future, and read beyond the lines I've written. She sniffs. Is this you in paper? The cold slashes of past fell on me once again. The horror on my face gave her the correct response. I whimpered and ran to her. In her arms, she rammed her hand around my back. Her lace manicured fingers brushed against my scalp. The motherly warmth sank in my skin. She pushed me slightly backward and whispered, "This is a secret I've been wanting to tell you." She swallowed the last saliva in her throat and muttered, "I love seeing you pain." I trembled and slid out of her hands. She laughed hard through her grey-colored teeth. "Don't run away from me yet, daughter. And even if you run 1,000 miles, I will always be here waiting for you. My name is Abuja."
Piaro. Another one, Abi?
Okay.
My heart. That is my heart. My heart, a planet on its own, where armored of grief grew in shape and with orchids and daffodils at night. They grew wings to mistletoe trust. They grew wings to mistletoe thrush, searching for the right words to verse in, while it should rather be a man-made sailboat of happiness, floating over through stormy waves and seeking sight. What would you rather use to describe an art method and rough of our ornament at the side of the crimson pool? Light silver and the faded silhouette crawl his way back in. My heart seems to host monks who overstayed and have strayed their house. I have seen thousands of untainted monsters perishing and missing in front of me. My heart is a room of all.
Wow. Yeah, thank you very much. So, do we have
Observation,
reactions and that to Ms. Aisha Ahmed?
Abigeal, any question you want to ask her?
You only publish your time on Facebook.
No, I tried.
What other platform? You stop publishing.
So I started updating to these magazines.
Magazine? Is it an online magazine or
online.
hard copy stuff?
First of all, I must say you've come a long way from writing. You told us that you wrote rubbish, but now the poems that you presented today they are far from rubbish, I must say. So what I would like to say is that those are the things that you thought were rubbish. You can try to work on them and perfect them. Perfect them to be like the ones you presented. So no writing. I don't believe any writing is rubbish. So as far as you are expressing an idea, so I don't think. So you just need to maybe work on it, maybe the grammatical aspect of it and the mechanical aspect and other aspect of it. So
thank you very much.
Auntie, any?
I mean, do you have anything to say? Okay. My brother, you're part of us. Nothing to say.
The chairman, he wants to say something.
The chairman wants to say something.
Sorry.
There is this thing in Yoruba. Permit me to say it in Yoruba. Morning any Tioba or Odebonje. So I picked it from where he said that you said you wrote rubbish. Now, I just want to advise that probably why you felt it's rubbish is that maybe you are the type that felt that maybe you are the type that felt that you have not done enough. And that's why you call at least the little you have done rubbish.
Okay, I call this rubbish in a way that it is not meant to be poetry. It is only just write-up. I was just rhyming words then. Like, probably poetry is all about rhyming words. You have to rhyme the elder hand with the second hand. So that was what I thought poetry to be then. So that was, poetry is complicated and twisted. You have to put your emotions under some things. Get it? So that one was just raw. I was just triggered by the emotion. I just feel like I should put it down. So that was why I call this poetry. And I noticed poetry is not about writing the same thing you felt, the same way you think it should be. You just have to put some words under some words. I mean, you need to think beyond the box. So that was why I called it rubbish, because I was just pouring it similar.
Thank you. I will ask a question from Jack. You said you have to pour your heart, emotion, right? Feelings to whatever you are writing. And why do you still need to think before you write?
What I need to think is that I need to get connected with, I need to pour my whole heart into what I'm writing. I need to think of those ways I can just twist it and express myself in a better way.
Okay, so that's where I will come in. Of course, you have to think.
Think of a way to attract
Thank you very much.
the readers.
So one thing is, one thing,
Captivate
we have
the
steps.
readers.
We have steps in writing. First, you write. You edit. You edit. You edit. You keep editing. That's why you will see a particular textbook that has gone viral, submitted to schools. And the next year they will still have another edition. They will revise it. It's not as if the last edition is bad. Do you get it? It's not as if it's bad. So one thing is, I would say she's actually a writer. If a writer should say I've written rubbish, that shows she's a writer. So one of the characteristics of a writer is don't see your work to be perfect. Do you get it? You don't see your work to be perfect. That's the characteristic of it. So I wanted to ask the question that what do you understand by feeling inferior or inferiority complex? So I will not ask that. But I will take you to a particular poet. Not Dylan Thomas. D.H. Lawrence. D.H. Lawrence. You can search for the poet. He wrote a poem, Bat. B-A-T. Bat. You've read it. The poem is not really about bat. It was a later stanza that he mentioned his intention about bat. It's more like someone sitting down like this and observing the nature. Do you get? So he observed the nature. He has written everything he observed. The setting of the poem is in France. There's a place, Florence, in Paris or so. So he was observing the atmosphere around this, when we do have this twilight at the evening time. So he was observing that, and at the end of the day, he observes a kind of birds that are coming in mass. He thought of them to be swallows, kind of poem. The kind of birds that picks fishes from the river. That was what he thought as well, as at first. But later time, he realized that they are bats, and the countenance changed. Do you get? The countenance changes that bat. It shows that he doesn't like bats in the poem. Do you get? The fact that as far as his own concern, his own belief, bat shows what's it called? Not being lucky. Do you get? But in another area, bat is even is a good omen. Do you get? Even in Yoruba land, we believe that when bats they flies over a town in mass, they will believe that a glad tidings or something good is coming to that particular place. So he has written his own poem with the way he felt. Do you get? And we reading it, we have to understand him, because he stays in Italy. Because even in that point, he was mentioning Italian areas, Ponte Vecchio, there's a river, this kind of different rivers. He was mentioning them. So we have to understand that about him, that's his own motive about poem. I mean, his own perspective, his own part of the world. He didn't like or he doesn't like bats. But here you can't. If I want to write about bats, I will write based on my own understanding. Do you get? So you couldn't have said you have written rubbish. If I want to blindly criticize D.H. Lawrence, I would say he has written nonsense. Why would he categorize bats to be a kind of creatures that bring bad luck? Do you get? That why will he categorize? I can blindly criticize the poem like that. Do you get? But I have to understand the concept of that poem, because his expectation was okay. These birds, something that because he said they are coming like loops. You know, at twilight time when the birds are flying, they will just be showing something like this. So he said they are coming like loops, and at later time he had thought they were swallows. But you find out that they are bats, and the countenance changes. So I can say why will his countenance change? Because of bat. That bat is eventually brings luck to our own. In my own word, it brings luck. But in his own word, it brings another thing. So I can just
different meanings.
So different meanings. So that brings us back to poetry. Probably those poems that you categorize or you stamped to be rubbish, probably they have not been read by some people that will see the beauty about them. Do you get? And you know why I said, why so far you've written from your heart, why do you still need to think? So far you want to pour out your emotion, why do you need to think? And you only think from your heart, you think from your mind, right? You want to do you understand what I'm bringing up? Do you get? You know, that is kind of awkward. So you could have just poured out your.
When I want to edit, I will have to think about it.
Exactly. That's where the thinking will come. That when we have something raw, you actually want to say, you can move, you cannot just use cutting like that. Cutting will have to go through a lot of process. That's why we'll be having stuff. Come out get nylon, come out get ordinary cloth. You get? We have silk, so it must have gone through a kind of process to come out. After me like it, and stuff they me like it. Do you get? So sometimes I've written, I've composed a poem, raw poem, that my intention when I'm trying to re-edit, my intention at first, later had to flow to another thing entirely. Because the way I've thought about the poem initially, or the way I've thought out my mind initially about the poem, diverged when I'm trying to edit because of the language I'm using, the kind of punctuation I'm applying, or the style I'm writing. Do you get? So all those things will only come to play when you have actually poured out it. So it's always best to come out raw at first. So and don't be too eager to send out your poem. So at that time you feel bad. Do you get? Because if you are too eager, you will be blind to see the mistakes there. Do you get? And most of the time, as I am now, I feel somehow bad if I post and someone is correcting error. It's not bad, but I will feel bad if I should post and someone is correcting error. So they hardly correct my own error. Do you get? If I see that, wow,